Today is so hot and it's overcast outside and still so hot. I know that it's been a while and I super apologize that I have been MIA from my channel. That's because it's summertime. Summertime, the living's easy. And when it's summer, I am in my happy place and I do not have time for anything but being outside and just staring at my garden. I go out there and I don't touch it, I just stare at it, literally. I'm a plant watcher. Is that creepy? I have been gardening like crazy. I have a very little garden this year. You know, small enough that I can actually keep on top of it, but big enough that we're actually getting stuff from it. Most of these things out here I've planted indoors. I mean, you guys remember when I had all those starts in the sunroom. And most everything took really well to being outside. The only thing that didn't catch on, it was just, like they shriveled up and died because of sun exposure, and I think just the shock from initially being brought outside, were the jalapeno peppers. And my lavender, those did not survive. Hi, buddy. Wanna say hi? Say hi, team.
Why are you talking like a baby? Are you a baby?
Gooby. Okay, give me a kiss. Mommy has to finish this, okay? And then we can play Candyland. I have got cabbages, chamomile, lots of potatoes, which I didn't plant because I don't really like potatoes, but they were growing in the garden from the previous years when my dad had been planting there. I kind of collected them from around the garden and tried to put them in some kind of a row. Sage, thyme, although thyme is just very pretty to me. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. But that's what's been fun about this year, is I've been trying out a lot of plants that I wouldn't normally grow. And even though I don't know how to harvest them or even use them initially, I've researched how to do that, and it's been really rewarding to put all these plants to use. I also have basil, lots of basil, that's been fun. Bell peppers, and tomatoes. Oh, I also transplanted a row of raspberry shoots to border the garden between the chicken coop and the garden, just so that those can grow nice and tall and give the chickens a little bit of shade when it's the west facing sun, because that's when it gets pretty hot in the summer. And also, they're good for the bees. That is a huge motivation behind half of what I've planted this year, which, update on my bees, I think they might have swarmed. I don't know why, because they have plenty of room. The activity level is significantly less than the other two hives. So I think they might have split. I don't know. They're still around. They're just definitely not moving up into the honey super like I want them to. But I've been trying to incorporate a lot of plants that are good for the bees so that next year there's a lot more that they can work with within our yard. So growing another row of raspberries. Hopefully those take off next year. Speaking of bees, well, let's back up a little bit. We are moving back into our house because the tiny house is no more. We're moving back to our house when we get back from Iceland. That's when our renters will be out and we can move back in, which is exciting. We're very excited to have our own space again. Although I'm super sad to be leaving all of this. Like, Evie loves hanging out with my parents and my family, and I think she's gonna have a really hard time adjusting to a smaller, quieter household. I'm going to really miss the garden and the yard work. I've been doing tons of little landscape projects around the house, which is just, I am in my zone. It is the bread to my butter. butter to my bread. I'm really going to struggle moving back to a very small yard with a very strict HOA. Not really any garden space or anything like that. I'll keep you posted on that. But I'm thinking what I can do, again, for the bees, even though it will be further away and so they won't be for mine, I'm still an advocate for adding to our environment and making it more conducive to bee life. So I'm propagating lavender plants from my parents' yard. They have a lot of mature lavender bushes, and so look how cute these are. Do you see that? Focusing. I'm probably going to do a DIY on this if these work. They should. Most of them look like they're doing great. It's very easy and it's free. You can propagate lavender well into early fall. So it's not too late. If you also want to save the bees and you're interested in a lavender propagation tutorial so that you can also benefit from free lavender plants, let me know. I'll probably post it anyways. I think I'm gonna take all these home and plant them around the house, and hopefully the HOA doesn't yell at me. We'll see. We hate lavender. We hate anything but woody shrubs that grow ginormous. Steve and I are looking...
Am I ready for Candyland?
Almost.
Okay.
We have a plan set out to move to Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, somewhere southern like that where it's very green and a little more humid and moist than Utah, but also where we can get a bigger bang for our buck, and especially a bigger yard with more flexibility, no HOA. I mean, Steve has to finish school, which is gonna put him at spring next year. We were planning on being done by December, but he needs to take a break because he's been doing semesters back to back trying to get it done, and he's completely burned out. He's gonna take the fall winter semester off and he's gonna do, is it winter spring? I don't know. I'm not the schoolboy. At that point, we can start planning on when we can move. We should have a good amount saved up by then for down on a place. And the market in Utah is ridiculous. Like, prices have gone up so much. If we were to sell our home and then buy in Utah, we'd be buying the same quality of home for more money. We don't love Utah. It doesn't feel super like home. So we're gonna go visit Georgia and see if that feels right. Look around the neighborhoods, see what areas we like. So nothing is set in stone, but also it is, because when I have a plan, it gets carried out, mostly. I have been researching and looking into making my own tea blends. So a lot of my hippie friends have been helping out, giving me some recommendations for what to use. I've been working on harvesting and storing my own teas. This beautiful tea is dried chamomile. How cute is it? I've been using these, oh gosh, these large ball jars. Feels funny to say ball, because I just think of them as mason jars. These large canning jars. Because I'm trying to move away from plastics and sticking with glass. The chamomile, I'm a little bit bummed out because I could have been harvesting almost all summer. As soon as those flowers start blossoming, you can start plucking them off. And I did not know that it was the flowers. I thought that, like most other herbs, it was actually the leaves. And so I didn't research until way late and realized that, oh, it's the flowers. So I wasted like half my summer's chamomile harvest on just not knowing, not doing anything about it, not looking anything up until it was halfway through summer. You live and you learn. You know, when you plant a lot of new plants, you bite off a lot, and sometimes it's more than you can chew. So I'm a little late in the game on some of these. Still going to be able to put away a lot for a good fall winter tea supply. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. So I have chamomile. I've been harvesting raspberry leaves and alfalfa leaves, both recommendations of a friend. I didn't plant mint, which is strange because I've always liked mint. Like, I would just straight up eat the leaves when I've planted it in the past. And this year, I guess it just didn't cross my mind. So I went to Walmart yesterday when I got the little terracotta pots for my lavender shoots and saw a mint plant there, and I just couldn't pass it up. So I got that. I'm not going to get very much from it because I didn't plant like a row, but I'll probably have enough to be able to indulge in a minty addition to my tea blends. Oh, I've also got pumpkins out there. Side note. My mom, for the last several years, has been making fresh pumpkin pie. Like literally cooking the pumpkin, blending it up, using that instead of the canned stuff. And it is so good. I want to be that domestic and awesome. I just spit a little there. That's when you know I'm passionate. This entire summer has been an experiment with growing different plants and learning how to harvest and utilize them. It makes me feel so independent, and if the zombie apocalypse happened tomorrow, I'll have enough tea to get me through the winter, and that's about it. But at least if something were to happen, I know how to do a lot of these things myself, and that's what I want to keep striving for. I just love self-sufficiency. I love that concept. And I think it's made me appreciate a lot more. It makes me appreciate that I can just go to the store and buy lettuce, because growing lettuce yourself is hard and it doesn't last forever. There's just a lot that I think we take for granted. And when you step back and you start to do a lot yourself and realize how much work goes into that, it makes you appreciate a lot more. Just appreciating our modern way of life and everything that we have available to us, modern medicines and knowledge. I think I just tapped out and I'm done talking. There's like a little tiny caterpillar in my dried chamomile patch. Poor guy. Extra protein, I guess. Who wants to come have a tea party with me? Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you in a couple weeks when I post Iceland.